Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Well, I find myself in Austria, and you might think, Duncan, what are you doing in Austria? Well, my daughter and I are here for the MotoGP, so the motorcycle racing. We usually pick one round every year to come in Europe, and this year it's Austria. So while I'm here, I'm going to create some videos, have a walk about. I've never been here before, I have no clue what the city's like. I arrived late last night and just grabbed a quick curry and a beer. But I'm going to have a good wander, film what I can, and knock it into maybe one or two. I don't know how many videos, we'll see what sort of footage we get at the end. I hope you like it. I've asked ChatGPT to create me an itinerary with some of the sort of top things to see and do, as I say, because I have no clue. So I'm just going to follow that, follow its directions, and show you what it tells me to look at. So I hope it all works out. So let's go for a walk. So just going to head away from the station. In the first part of the suggested walk, it's telling me it's a bit of a warm-up stroll. Now I've got to say, it's a beautiful day here in Graz in Austria. The weather's fantastic. It's about 27 degrees and it's it's a lot cooler than Spain is, that's for sure. If we had this weather, it'd be awesome. But hey, let's not complain about the weather when Scotland usually gets it pretty shitty. So yeah, the first part of this walk is telling me to just take a walk up this street. It's a gentle stroll, and it's telling me to look out for some artisan bakeries and little sort of local shops. So we'll have a look up here and see what it's like. I'm just waiting for the lights to change. Everyone's very respectful of the traffic lights here in Graz, but you know, it's a big city with wide roads, so I get it. And there are bicycles everywhere. Loads and loads and loads of bicycles. In fact, last night when I came back from having a curry, there were two police, and they were police women. And I've got to say, I've seen a few police women here, and they were stopping a cyclist for not having his front light on, and they were checking his ID and everything. You know, they were going through the whole motions. So cycling's a big thing here, and they take it very seriously. So I'm just going to see what this is called in the ChatGPT. So it's calling it Annenstrasse Stroll, around 15 minutes. So obviously I'll capture all the footage, but what I'll then do is edit out the boring bits. Telling me it's a gentle warm-up walk, and keep my eyes open for local bakeries if I fancy a takeaway pastry. Well, I don't, because I've just had my breakfast. So let's just go for a walk. So there's a little baker's stall there, just off the main road. I don't know what it sells, but it's got little bakery pictures and stuff on it, so probably a good spot for breakfast. Now watch these cycle lanes, they're massive here, and the bikes just come flying along. See how wide the cycle lane is compared to the separate footpath. So it doesn't look like there's much to see down in this part of the city. So I'll pick it back up again when it gets something a bit more exciting to look at. So I've come to the end of that first street. It's telling me to turn right here, but I want to show you this. He's turning this way, this little scooter here. Let's have a look at this when he comes along. So I'll just walk along here. So again, I don't know if there's that much to show you at this part of the street. It just looks like buildings on both sides. I'm going to cross over to the shady side. It's always better to do that, to walk in the shade, because it is, although it's 27 degrees, there's no point in getting too hot when I'm out for a long walk today. So this is like a business centre of some description, sauna. Don't know what's there. Yeah, look at this. This little scooter that comes along. Now the reason I'm interested in these is I've seen a few people out on these, and at first I seen them with no helmet on. And the strange thing is it would appear to be that they are electric scooters, but they look like, you know, similar style to the sort of modern Peugeot scooters that you would get with a petrol engine. And see, there's one there, look. Look. So they're electric. And you don't need a helmet. In fact, I'm going to cross back over because the light's terrible in the shade here. In fact, here's one coming now. In fact, that was perfect. You see the difference there? So the first one's a little electric scooter. It doesn't need a helmet. And the second one was a petrol scooter who doesn't need a helmet. So, I wonder what the laws are. Can you ride these little electric scooters here without a licence, as well as a helmet? I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comments. What are the rules regarding these little electric scooters here? Looks like a big park over there. Maybe we'll end up back in that at some point. In fact, it's telling me to cross over here, so that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just cross over. So this is one of these times when we blindly follow the navigation, because I have no clue where anything is or where to go. I just hope it gets a bit more exciting than streets with buildings. Surely there's more to Graz than that. We'll see what ChatGPT has found for us. So it looks like I'm coming into some kind of park here. So this might be quite pleasant. It's very quiet. It's very, very quiet here. So yeah, when I was out last night, I tried to find somewhere for an Indian curry when I arrived quite late, but something to note is that a lot of the restaurants seem to close at 9 o'clock. Now I don't know if that's just because it's during the week. Well, this is quite pleasant here. Look at this nice wee bridge over a river. How tranquil and peaceful this is. Smashing. I tell you something, I'd rather be doing this than working, and I'm so glad that I took early retirement and decided to go out and enjoy life rather than being stuck in the time for money trap. So this looks like an old church of some description. It's not on the itinerary, but let's have a look at it anyway. Looks pretty nice. Yeah. And look at that blue sky for all you blue sky lovers. I know how you love a blue sky. Although you're getting pretty good weather in Scotland at the minute and in the UK. So I don't think the weather's been too bad. Yes, I'm just going to carry on along here. There's a man walking the plank. Don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it anyway. Each to their own, I suppose. So yeah, this is a pretty little park with not a soul in it. It's very, very quiet. And it looks like maybe there's quite a lot of bits of Graz that are pretty quiet. And I'm sure once I get into the city centre there'll be a lot more to see. But at the minute, it's looking like a pretty dull and boring video. I'm sure it'll lighten up earlier, and liven up it later on, sorry. I'm sure it'll liven up later on once we find some more stuff. It's going to be a bit of editing in this one to try and make it worth watching, that's for sure. So just more park, more park, more park. Again, we'll pick it up once we get through the other side.